you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
I'm Rachel Knapp. Watch my reports live from Washington, only on 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Bernie Sanders travels to the UP to campaign for Kamala Harris. We'll hear what he had to say during his visit. Plus, community members in Hannahville have fun while trying to preserve the Potawatomi language, how they're doing it with bingo. And the Native American Student Association at NMU celebrates Indigenous Peoples Day at the Wildcat statue. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is 6.
Checking things out on the planner here. It's a chilly one for Marquette. And as you check out, look at this. Some pretty good wind as well. Gusts up to 20 to 25. So as the temperatures fall into the 30s, wind chills will be closer to that freezing mark. And we may get a few showers, perhaps a few wet flakes of snow as well. No accumulations, but definitely on the cool side here. And most areas will be staying in the 30s to near 40 for your lows for tonight. Rest of the forecast later in the show. Kevin?
Thanks, Tom. And Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders was in Marquette on Sunday to campaign for Kamala Harris. Our John Truitt was at the rally and tells us more about his visit.
And again,
Senator Bernie Sanders was in Marquette Sunday for a Get Out the Vote rally at the Northern Center. Over 1,000 people filled the Grand Ballroom Sunday night, with people lined up hours in advance to hear Sanders speak. Sanders' visit is part of a nationwide tour to encourage people to get to the polls on Election Day. After being introduced by Michigan State Representative Jen Hill, Sanders was very honest about Michigan's role in the upcoming election.
which is why I am in Michigan. Because she's not going to win by 25 or 30 points here. It's going to be a very, very close election. It could well be decided by a few thousand votes. And as Michigan goes, it is likely the nation will go.
Sanders, who is the chair of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, has always been an advocate for health insurance reform and lower-cost prescription drugs.
What Kamala wants to do, which is a really important idea, is expand Medicare to cover home health care.
He also mentioned this goal of the Harris campaign.
Kamala Harris wants to end all medical debt in America.
Senator Sanders also identified housing as a critical issue facing Americans.
We have a major housing crisis. One of the very first things that Kamala did when she became the Democratic nominee was to announce that she intends to help build 3 million units of affordable and low-income housing.
Sanders says this election is extremely critical and that every vote counts. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Now looking around the UP, an observation of Indigenous Peoples Day, members of the Hannahville Indian community preserved the Potawatomi language with a game. The Potawatomi Heritage Center hosts bingo or She-She-Bay a few times a year. In place of the letters and numbers, She-She-Bay is played with Potawatomi vocabulary words. Hannahville's culture director says it's a fun way to help community members of all ages learn and retain Indigenous language.
Language and culture go together. You can't have one without the other. Our language is dying. We don't have a lot of fluent speakers. So we have 14 different tribes of Potawatomi, and all of them are actively working on preserving our language.
She-She-Bay prizes included cultural items like materials to make ribbon skirts, which many will wear to the center's annual Spirit Feast on Halloween. And today is Columbus Day, but it's also Indigenous Peoples Day, a celebration of the Native Americans that occupied this land well before Europeans set foot in the Americas. Today is a day to honor our diversity as a people and celebrate the spirit, heritage, and culture of Indigenous people. Tyler Detloff of the Native American Studies program at NMU says that on this day we should celebrate our differences.
this repositioning for Indigenous Peoples Day allows us to see a lot more value in the differences that we have, and also recognize that those values can help lead to a future that is sustainable if we do follow and if we value those diverse opinions in a way that hasn't been valued in the past.
Says that we can all keep our identity while celebrating our differences. Your first morning weather forecast is coming up after the break. Plus, Jim Koski returns for Life in the 906. He's taking exception to what I called him last week. And we're live at the Kids Cove Playground in Marquette for their grand opening tonight. We'll hear what the newly renovated area means to the community. We're back after this.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
No matter how hard you try, or how far you go, you can't ever leave it all behind. They're always with you. The stories you've told, the ones you never could. This is a story I don't tell.
Special Agent Gibbs. Ready to catch some bad guys?
NCIS Origins premieres CBS tonight, 9/8 Central, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Alyssa Slotkin's lying about EV mandates.
No one's going to mandate anything.
Just 3 weeks ago, Slotkin voted for Biden's EV mandate and voted to ban gas cars. Slotkin's lying to hide her secret deal that helped a Chinese EV company. Slotkin took campaign cash from Chinese agents, then voted for their EV mandates that would ship Michigan jobs to China. Lies, EV mandates, and Chinese cash. That's Alyssa Slotkin.
I'm Mike Rogers, and I approve this message.
Join Mike's team. Give today.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks? Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service. Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
The Shunk's factory authorized custom order sale. With delivery times getting back to normal, it's a great time to have it your way, get a sale price, and get 12 months to pay. Choose from hundreds of sofas, love seats, chairs, and sectionals. All the latest styles are here. Over 3,000 fabrics and leathers to pick from. Sectionals, 50 different styles to choose from, and hundreds of configurations to fit your room. It's Shunk's factory authorized custom order sale. Shop Shunk Furniture at Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Our headlines for this evening, cool conditions here, and we'll get some drops of rain, maybe a few flakes of snow for tonight. It's that chilly, but no accumulations, but letting you know. Sometimes this happens in October, of course, in the Upper Peninsula. Chilly wind for tonight. More chilly wind again for tomorrow. Bundle up with warming temperatures, though. Once we get through tomorrow, things temperature-wise will improve and weather-wise as we head toward the middle and end of the week. And I know the weather may not be the most conducive, but we are in peak season here when it comes to the colors here. You can see most of the Upper Peninsula has peak color here. Of course, the slightly warmer temperatures near the lake shore. Still not quite at peak here for Marquette itself and out toward Eagle Point, but eventually there will be a good look there. So some good look, and maybe in the middle of the week when things improve, you can check out some of those colors. A couple of showers are moving through for tonight. Didn't see any snow popping up here, those snow colors like you see here. But again, a few flakes of snow are possible into early tomorrow morning. And while much of the western third of the Upper Peninsula had the rain in the mix today, most of tonight will be on the eastern side from Newberry towards Sault Ste. Marie, and a couple of those showers continue along with that cold wind during the day on Tuesday and into Tuesday night. And then finally by Wednesday morning we see the sun come out here. The winds will gradually change direction, and that'll mean some much nicer weather as we head toward Wednesday, along with some warming temperatures as well. So things for tonight, mostly cloudy, chilly breeze, some showers, maybe a few wet flakes of snow. can see as low as 33 in Iron River, but most of you will see your temperatures in the mid-30s to around 40 degrees here in Marquette. Eagle Harbor, that is, not Eagle Point. Eagle Harbor at 42. In the meantime, as we head on toward tomorrow, temperatures, again, not getting out of the 40s. We'll try to get to 50 maybe far south, but most of you will stay in the 40s. Chilly wind, a lot of clouds. Can't rule out some of those passing showers, particularly in the eastern third of the Upper Peninsula during the day. So bundle up, heading outside. After that 7-day, we're looking at nicer weather as we head on toward Wednesday. Finally, maybe we'll get to 60, I think, under partly sunny skies. And the sun comes out nice here for Thursday into Friday. Nice steady warm up and actually a decent weekend taking shape. We're not seeing any serious chances for rainfall once we get past Tuesday. And hopefully we can keep that trend going into the beginning of next week.
Tom, thank you. The new and improved Kids Cove Playground at Lower Harbor has its grand opening tonight. WZMQ reporter Sammy McKnight is live at Lower Harbor to give us a look at the new playground. How are things looking down there right now, Samuel?
Hey there, Kevin. That's right. I'm down here at Lower Harbor with Zosha Eppensteiner of the Community Foundation of Marquette County. Zosha, can you tell me about some of the new features in this park that make it unique?
There's so much in this playground that everybody can enjoy. So there's a lot of different zones, but the most important thing is that it's a universal design, which means that anybody, regardless of their ability, whether it's a physical or mental ability, looking at, you know, their ability to move, to process the environment and the surrounding, everyone can enjoy it equally and all play together. That's what's really amazing about this celebration and this playground today, that all of our community can enjoy it together.
Okay. Obviously, it was kind of a longer process, right? It was a long project. Can you tell me a little bit about what that process looked like and what some of the important milestones were?
Sure. One of the most important features of the project is that it's really a collaboration between the community, the City of Marquette, the Community Foundation, and most importantly, the volunteer group who had this dream of making an accessible, universal playground for all in Marquette and making sure that that space is welcoming and truly accessible to everybody. And you know, with collaborations, when you're looking at a public-private partnership, there's community support, there's our municipality is involved. Things take time, and we also want to do it right. And so looking at specific design features, engaging experts in terms of what equipment should be part of the playground, engaging the community and hearing their input, engaging the youth, engaging our disability experts and advocates to understand what universal play looks like now and into the future for our community. Those are all pieces that were part of the process.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Zosha.
Thank you.
If you want to come down and see the park for yourself, you can find it down at Lower Harbor. Kevin, back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Samuel. And coming up on Insights, we're joined by the United Way of Marquette County to talk about some of their upcoming events and volunteer opportunities they have to offer. That conversation's coming in 2 minutes.
Without this procedure, you could die. Question is, can we get permission? Let's check in with Carl Bonak's panel of radical politicians.
Carl Bonak is endorsed by a radical group that would criminalize nearly all abortions, putting politicians in charge of our health decisions. Their plan outlaws abortions even after rape or incest.
Wait a minute, don't I have a say in this?
I'm sorry, not with Carl Bonak in Lansing.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now there are more carriers and plans to choose from. The government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little to no cost to you. 70% of callers qualify for a zero-cost healthcare coverage. See if you are one of them. This is not Medicaid or Medicare. This is the marketplace with the largest selection of healthcare plans from the Affordable Care Act. Call 800-626-9042.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show.
Listen, I'm gonna wait for y'all to calm down.
Get yourselves together for the very handsome Blair Underwood.
Well, I'm happy to see ya.
Plus singer-songwriter Victoria Monet. Then I try my hand at another HGTV dinner.
We're gonna get our hands dirty.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
You already know Jen Hill voted with Democrats 99% of the time. But did you know Hill was the deciding vote to raid the teachers' pension fund? Worse, Hill voted to cut school safety and mental health funding 92%. Lansing liberal Jen Hill, putting politics over Peninsula. The better choice?
Carl Bonak. Carl Bonak has a plan to fight inflation, reduce our cost of living, and keep our schools safe and fully funded. Carl Bonak, putting Peninsula over politics.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. As we move into the colder months, volunteer opportunities through the United Way of Marquette County and Upers United aren't slowing down. And joining us tonight is the Executive Director, Andrew Rickower. Andrew, always good to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Good to be back.
Absolutely. So what do we got coming up? Let's start with the Fresh Coast Film Festival. We had Bugsy Sailor in here last week to talk a little bit about it, but what can you tell us?
Yeah, it's a big event. A lot of good films being shown around Marquette, and at every site there's volunteers needed, you know, whether it's ushering, door monitoring, just really helping make sure everybody has a good time at the festival.
For sure. And how big of an event do you think the Fresh Coast Film Festival is around here?
We bring in about 400 volunteers for this event, and not just volunteers for the weekend only. That's not including all those dozens and dozens of volunteers to help plan it and put it on.
Definitely. Yeah, so big event, it sounds like, absolutely. So what kind of, where are the areas you're looking for help the most?
It's really spread out throughout the whole festival. Most of it's door monitors and ushers right now.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, get to pick the location and the time. Definitely lots of options out there.
Excellent. You can do that at upersunited.com, I'm assuming,
yes.
as well.
Yeah.
For sure. And we are in the spooky season as well, Andrew. So we got Halloween stuff going on at the YMCA as well. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the YMCA every year puts on this fun, family-friendly event with lots of kids' activities and games going on, and looking for volunteers to help organize it and keep the kids active with their games, having fun.
Sure, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be a bunch of fun, absolutely. So any particular roles you need volunteers for there?
It's really just, we need volunteers there, and then we kind of will sort the people once they're there. Lots of kids' activities, bouncy houses, face painting, snacks. We just want to make sure there's volunteers spread out throughout the whole area, keep everyone safe.
Yeah, all those things sounds like something a kid would really enjoy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a great time. If you can't volunteer and you got kids, then bring them on over there for that event.
All right, excellent. Let's move on to Feeding America. I understand we need some help there as well.
Yeah, Feeding America, this time of year when things get a little colder, volunteers head out for the winter.
Right.
And so always looking for a little boost in some new volunteers for the fall and winter time, and especially out at the Gwynn Sawyer area. So looking for usually about 30 volunteers for each distribution. There's about 5 distributions throughout Marquette County every month. So it's a lot of volunteers to organize, and could definitely use your help. And for food insecurity in general, there's been this last year about a 12% increase in food insecurity. So the need is definitely going up, and we serve those mobile pantries serve over 12,000 households every year.
Sure, and you mentioned that the Sawyer area is one area where you're looking for more volunteers as well. What's the situation over there? How are we looking right now?
Yeah, the Sawyer distribution is, like I say, we usually try to get 30 volunteers to run a clean distribution. Over there, we make do with 15, but we definitely need more. It makes it hard work with fewer volunteers, and that's always a tough one to get the volunteers for.
For sure. Anyone out there that's looking to do any of this volunteer work? Andrew, what can you tell them where to go?
Yeah, go to upersunited.com for all these needs and everything else.
All right, good deal. Andrew, thank you so much as always for coming in and talking with us. Always appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and tomorrow on Insights, we're joined by Aspirus Health, as this week is Infection Prevention Week. We'll go over how to stay healthy by avoiding infections. And Jim Koski is up next for your Life in the 906. He's talking about some of the biggest UP legends. And later, we'll go over those changes one Escanaba business owner wants to see come to the Delta County Airport. She's looking for them to update their mural to better reflect the history of the area. That's coming up after the break.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, a moment where science fiction became fact. The spellbinding SpaceX test launch, playing catch with the world's most powerful rocket. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Federal agents! NCIS!
You done, bro?
New CBS Tonight.
Special Agent Leroy Jethro Gibbs.
Get ready.
We go where the evidence takes us.
Keep digging.
We got less than 24 hours.
For a 3-hour event.
We're gonna get the guy who did this.
NCIS is all new, and NCIS Origins premieres CBS Tonight, 8/7 Central, and streaming on Paramount+.
Buckle's Party Store. It's where the party starts in Calumet, with an awesome beer selection featuring domestic, foreign, and craft brewed beer, a great selection of wine, just about any kind of liquor you want, and a great range of tobacco products. Buckle's Party Store in Calumet. It's where the party starts for everyone.
Welcome to Car Breakdowns 101. I'm your Professor Ice-T. If your car is out of warranty, a car breakdown could eat you alive. Look at that car. The transmission alone could cost you $3,000. And that engine? How much do you love your kidneys? Don't even get me started on the computer system. That's a small fortune. Do what I did and call Car Shield. They get expensive car repairs taken care of so you don't have to. Class dismissed.
Call 800-552-1961.
My family's been in business for 70 plus years. We really needed to stress that this is not just a running store. Our running shoes are good for everybody.
It's about the people out in the community who are in the workforce. All those people really benefit from the proper footwear and structure that a running shoe can provide.
They might come in limping, almost like a miracle, walk out of here dancing. It's more than shoes. There's a caring that doesn't exist in a lot of businesses anymore.
She's inquisitive.
What led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
Welcome back, everyone. Time for Life in the 906 with Jim Koski. And Jim, I understand you're taking exception with something I called you last week. Please explain.
Well, Kevin, you made me laugh because what you called me last week was you jokingly referred to me as legendary. And as I think we all know, I am anything but legendary. I, after all, am just a dorky little Marquette kid who grew up into a dorky big Marquette kid whose singular talent is standing in front of a microphone and cracking the worst jokes in the 4.6 billion year history of the planet. If that makes someone legendary, then Upper Michigan really needs to consider its definition of legend. But that did get me to thinking, who would you consider to be a UP legend? I mean, my mind first flashes back to the natives who followed the caribou to this area 10,000 years ago and became the first humans to lay their eyes upon a newly formed inland ocean. That's legendary. How about the French missionaries who first explored the area like René Menard or Jacques Marquette? Or the individuals who mapped and built the UP as we know it today, like Douglas Houghton or Peter White? What about Connie Binsfeld, who paved the way for Jennifer Granholm and Gretchen Whitmer by becoming Michigan's first female lieutenant governor? Or what about sports icons like George Gipp or John McGinnis, or even these two guys? I'm pretty sure anyone who was at the Dome yesterday would consider the whole afternoon legendary in and of itself. Now, all of these people can, in one way or another, be considered UP legends. But do you have to be famous to be a legend? In my book, the thousands of Upper Michigan residents who are social workers or nurses or who volunteer wherever they can are the real legends. After all, helping someone make someone's life just a little easier or putting a smile on their face is the legendary act right there. There are all kinds of legends, I guess. Some are famous, some aren't For some, well, the book is still out. But isn't it great that we're lucky enough to live in a place that actually produces people who can be called legendary? I'm Jim Koski, anything but a legend, and that's another slice of life in the 906.
You know what, Jim? Sorry, but we're going to have to disagree on this right here. I'm still going to call you a legend.
Okay, well, how about agree to disagree then?
There you go. That's the phrase I was looking for. Thanks, Jim. And don't forget to join Jim weekday afternoons on Q107 WMQT. Change could be coming to the Delta County Airport as administrators consider updating its existing mural. Our Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons shows us how a local business owner hopes to change it and preserve area's history.
This mural has been on display at the Delta County Airport since the year 2000.
I think it served its purpose. I know that it was well intended when it was painted, but in the last 25 years or so, a lot of things have changed.
Kylie Kelishek, owner of the Blading Boutique and Small Business Emporium, approached the Airport Advisory Board to propose a change, featuring her own family's history in aviation, which is on display now at her storefront.
My grandpa and his sisters were wing walkers in the flying circus. Ladia was the first woman in the world to ever run an airport. Sarah and Ladia opened a flight school here, as well as the Wells Airport that opened in the 1920s. And they were barnstormers, so they'd travel the country hanging off of planes, stunt flying.
That history includes 2 female pilots who Kelishek says were in the sky even before Amelia Earhart became a pilot.
I can't imagine Amelia's hometown not wanting claim to her. And you guys have 4 aviators who were from here and did phenomenal things all over the world.
The advisory board still has to consider funding, timing with other projects, and any input from the mural's artist. But the airport manager has been looking for a way to refresh the airport for months and believes this update could be a step in the right direction.
I think she has a fantastic vision about what we can do as far as replacing the mural that would still be very representational of the county and very applicable to what we do here at the airport.
Kelishek hopes to see her vision become reality, sharing the legacy of her family and Delta County with airport passengers.
Something the artist did that was really great was he was able to originally incorporate local history, and that's what I'm trying to do once again.
Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
And we have your final look at weather coming up after the break.
100 Republicans who worked in national security for Presidents Reagan, both Bushes, and for President Trump, now endorsing Harris for president.
She came up as a prosecutor, an attorney general, into the Senate. She has the kind of character that's going to be necessary in the presidency.
Vice President Harris is standing in the breach at a critical moment in our nation's history. We have a shared commitment as Americans to do what's right for this country. This year, I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Former generals, secretaries of defense, secretaries of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, CIA directors, and National Security Council leaders under Democratic and Republican presidents, Republican members of Congress, and even former Trump administration officials agree there's only one candidate fit to lead our nation, and that's Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
In Michigan, we know what a functioning border looks like, but no one's proud of what's happening at our southern border, and everyone in Washington's to blame. I'm Melissa Slotkin. I've spent my life protecting the homeland. That's why I've introduced more border security legislation than any congressman from Michigan, including a new law giving the Border Patrol more resources to crack down on cartels, because it's their fentanyl poisoning our communities. I approve this message because every country deserves to know who and what is coming across its borders.
Top investigators and police use the latest forensic science to uncover the truth and solve real cases. The devil is always in the details. Forensic Factor.
Your forecast for tonight for the Marquette area, mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a few drops of rain. Not seeing any snow for Marquette itself. Some of you away from the lakeshore, though, could get a few flakes. Nothing will accumulate. A stiff, chilly wind. North winds about 10 to 20. It's a cool one out there. And we'll keep it chilly again as we head on toward Tuesday with temperatures not getting out of the 40s, but partly cloudy for Wednesday, warming up for the end of the week. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, Tom. And finally tonight, dogs of various breeds put their noses to the test over the weekend in Escanaba. Upper Peninsula Dynamic Dogs hosted nose work trials at the UP State Fairgrounds. Dogs tracked down scents hidden in boxes or in vehicles. Distractions were also hidden in the courses, so dogs could only alert their handlers when they found the correct one. Participants earned titles and ribbons, but above all, the trials were a bonding experience for the dogs and their handlers.
The dog appreciates you more, too, because you're doing things with them. They're not just stuck in a crate or something like that. They like doing things for you. You find out things about your dog that's pretty special, and we all like to share things about our different dogs and talk about our different titles and stuff.
Upper Peninsula Dynamic Dog host